Bison travel back east for a one-game set taking on the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Hello everyone and welcome into the press box here at beautiful Oregon Trail Park Stadium in Gering, Nebraska for tonight's contest between the 7-9 Gem City Bison and the 7-10 Western Nebraska Pioneers. The Bison are fresh off of a series in North Platte in which they dropped the total 2 games to 1. The Bison face off against the Pioneers tonight, and then it's back off to Laramie for a series against Casper and Fremont. We will be back on the Gem City Bison digital network right after the national anthem. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Oregon Trail Park here on the Gem City Bison digital network. As I said earlier, the Gem City Bison dropping the series against the North Platte Plainsmen 2 games to 1 this week. This morning we drove over here to Gering, Nebraska, and we are here for a 1-game set before we travel back to Laradice for 3 games against Casper and 3 against Fremont. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for your Gem City Bison. Batting leadoff, the center fielder wearing number 15, newly committed to George Mason University, Derek Wood. The right fielder wearing number 1, Tyler Bradley. The catcher wearing number 26, Nico Pezzanella. The third baseman wearing number 22, Randy Stoltz. The first baseman wearing number 42, Mitch Winter. The shortstop wearing number 9, Quinn McCafferty. The designated hitter wearing number 7, Tyler Godfrey. Left fielder wearing number 17, Jack Jones. And the second baseman wearing number 6, Justice Panton. Getting the start on the mound for the Pioneers will be number 12, Ryan Skeeman. It looks like we are about to get underway here in Gering. About right on time here. His first pitch scheduled to come across at about 6:35. It is currently 6:34. Skeeman stands on the mound, comes set and fires that in. First pitch going to come across at 6:34 on a beautiful night here in Nebraska. The 4th game in as many days for the Bison here in this state. That first pitch comes across for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the second pitch. That's going to miss down low and outside for ball number 2. Derek Wood, as I said before, recently committed to George Mason University, previously of Paradise Valley Community College, standing in the left-handed batter's box with the bat over his shoulder. Skeeman kicks and fires in. That's going to be hit straight to the shortstop, Jeremiah, picked up and sent over to the wall, and he's going to be in there safe. Wood with a leadoff single will bring up Tyler Bradley, a new addition to this Gem City Bison team. Hasn't even played in Laramie yet at Cowboy Field. So he's going to step in with no outs and Wood on first.
Next Bison batter, right fielder from Emory and Henry University.
Thank you for joining us here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. Can be seen and heard all around the world on YouTube. Here's first pitch of this at-bat. That will come across in for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike here to Bradley. As the Bison already have a runner on first with no outs in this top of the first. Here's the pitch. That will be swung on and missed for strike 2. That's going to be swung on and missed for strike number 3. Here we apologize for the camera troubles, but Bradley will go down on strikes for the first out of the top of the first inning. So once again, a new batter will come up. Nico Pezzanella from Northern State up in South Dakota will step into the left-handed batter's box, and runner on first for the Bison. Wood's going to go. The throw is not going to be in time. Wood will be in to second base, safe. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out with a runner on second for the Bison in their brown jerseys, trimmed in cream and gold, as well as the gray pants trimmed in brown and gold. 1 ball, no strikes to Pezzanella as he swings his bat around and puts it over his shoulder. Looks back at second. Here's the pitch from Skeeman, and that will be right in there on the outside edge for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pezzanella from Skeeman and the Pioneers. This is the first contest between these two teams this year, the newly formed Independence League. The 1-1 will reach in there on the inside bottom corner, excuse me, for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Pezzanella is down to his potential final strike. 1 out with Wood on second for the Bison. Skeeman comes set. Looks at second, kicks and fires home, and that one will miss outside to even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have Austin Byler watching, one of our principal owners, and also Patricia Grigg, Coach Grigg's mom. Thank you all for tuning in here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. Skeeman looks back at second and fires home for the 2-2. That's going to be popped up into shallow right field. Nanez has no problem grabbing that one for out number 2. So Pezzanella will pop out to the second baseman for out number 2, and that will bring up number 22, Randy Stoltz, the right-hander for the Gem City Bison, the right-handed third baseman tonight, as Keegan Schultz gets his day off on this road trip. He steps in with a clean count. Wood still at second base for the Bison. Stoltz in the right-handed batter's box. There's the pitch, and that's going to miss for ball number 1 down beneath the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, with Wood still on second off the single and a stolen base earlier on in this top of the first inning. Still tied 0-0. Skeeman comes set, fires the pitch, and that will be in there for strike 1 to even it up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, with Wood in scoring position at second. Stoltz brings his bat around, puts it over his right shoulder. Pitcher looks at second, then sends it home, and that one will miss for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count to Stoltz. 2-1 is the count. As Skeeman comes set, sends it home, and that will be swung on, popped up to short. Jeremiah will come in, calling for it, and grab it for out number 3. We will head to the bottom of the first inning on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. Still tied 0-0 between the Pioneers and the Bison. Like I said, we will be back right after this. Back here in the bottom of the first inning, still tied 0-0 between the Gem City Bison and the Western Nebraska Pioneers, facing off for the first time this season. Getting the start on the mound for the Bison is going to be Marcos Varia, as that first pitch will reach outside for ball number 1. 1-0 is the count to Wall. Wall playing first base, wearing number 8 in the right-handed batter's box. That'll be swung on. McCafferty will barehand it, send it over to Winter at first, and he's going to call him safe. First batter for each side will reach safely on a single, honestly, to short that just couldn't get there in time. So, Wall will reach to first base, and that will bring up Isaac Lopez, the designated hitter for the Pioneers today, wearing number 6. He steps in with no outs and a runner on first. Varia comes set, nods, and fires that in there. Bunt shown, but it will be pulled back right at the last second, and the ball will miss for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Lopez, so far this year, was .333, 6 for 18 with 5 runs. Standing at the plate, here's the pitch, and that will be flown out into right field foul territory. That'll put strike number 1 on the board. 1 ball, 1 strike to have things even. No outs, with Wall as a runner on first. He steps back into the batter's box. Feria ready to go almost immediately. Here's the pitch. Wall's going to go. The throw from Pezzanella will be in time, but the tag won't. So he'll be in there safe. Another stolen base in this game so far, both by the leadoff hitter and slash runner, I suppose, as that pitch missed for ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs, with the runner now at second for Lopez. As the Tim Gansrow will come out and have a conversation with the field umpire. He walks back to the dugout, and everything will stay exactly the same. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lopez in the batter's box, and Wall at second off the stolen base. Still tied 0-0 here in the bottom of the first inning, as Lopez stands in with the ball over his shoulder. Berrios comes set and looks back at second, kicks and fires home, and that's going to be fouled back for strike number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, with no outs and a runner on second for the Pioneers. Lopez, a sophomore from Texas Rio Grande Valley. Here's the 2-2, and that's going to be swung on into left field. Jones will grab it. The runner will try to advance. The throw will be a bit wild, as Wall will actually end up going back to second base, so he'll stay at second base. And Jones, a player from Western Nebraska Community College, and actually a native of this town of Gering, will make the first out in the bottom of the first inning. And that will bring up Jace Jeremiah, the shortstop, with 1 out and a runner on second. Here's the pitch, and that will miss outside for ball number 1. Jace Jeremiah, sophomore at Skyline Junior College, steps back into the box to face a 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes. Feria looks back to second, and that will miss down low for ball 2. 2-0 is the count, with an out and a runner on second. Jeremiah from San Mateo, California, playing shortstop for the Pioneers and wearing number 10. The Pioneers in their beautiful blue uniforms with red and white trim, as well as white pants with red trim. Here's the pitch. That will be swung on directly to Panton at second. He'll pick it up and send it over to Winter on first for out number 2. So the 2 back-to-back outs will bring up Alex Zerfas, as he will step into the box with the runner now on third, as Wall advanced on that ground ball out to Panton at second.
Right fielder from Gonzaga University, number 23, Alex Zerfas.
Here's the first pitch, and that'll miss outside for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes is the count. And there's the second pitch. That will be swung on to even things up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. This first inning brought to you by A.D. Martin Lumber, Lariat Realty LLC, Aspen Family Chiropractic, and Grand Avenue Urgent Care, as that one will come across and be swung on once again for strike number 2. 1-2 is the count, with 2 outs and a runner on third for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the first. Zerfas from Lake Forest, California, junior at Gonzaga. And that one will be swung on for strike number 3 and the third out of this first inning. We head to the second inning here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network, heard all around the world. We'll be back right after this. Mitch Winter will step in for the Gem City Bison as a first pitch is going to be swung on into shallow right field. Zerfas will come on and make the catch for a first pitch, first out situation for the Bison, as Winter will go down off of that fly ball. One out already as Quinn McCafferty, the second student at Western Nebraska Community College for the Bison in the lineup today, comes across. I mentioned Jack Jones earlier on in the inning as that first pitch will come across for ball 1. Jones actually a native of Gering, but Quinn is a native of Bighorn, Wyoming, and he goes to school in Scottsbluff. Here's the pitch, and that will be swung on, lined straight to wall at first where he was playing for out number 2. A quick 2 outs for the Bison here in the top of the second inning. We're still tied 0-0 between the Pioneers and the Bison. That will bring up Tyler Godfrey now for Gem City. Godfrey from Montana State University Billings as he steps in the left-handed batter's box. One thing you will notice about this Bison lineup, definitely left dominated, as that first pitch will come across for strike number 1. This top of the second inning brought to you by Laramie GM Auto Center and Drake Jeffrey. Want to thank all of our sponsors for their generous contributions to the Bison. Here's the second pitch. That's going to be swung on and missed for strike 2. Sleeman not having to do very much in this inning as his defense is really backing him up after a fly out to right field from Winter and a line out to first from McCafferty. Here's the 0-2, and that will miss outside for ball 1. With that being said, Sleeman definitely not shying away from doing work himself as he got Godfrey into a quick 0-2 count, in which the third ball came across for ball number 1. He looks in and comes set. Now the lefty dealing to the lefty in the box, and that swing will be held, but he will call it strike 3. Godfrey doesn't think he went across, but that is the call nonetheless, and we will head to the bottom of the second inning after a quick 1-2-3 inning here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. Ryan Callahan steps in, the center fielder for the Pioneers, as the second pitch will come across to make things even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Still tied 0-0 in the bottom of the second after the Bison went the Pioneers went 1-2-3. As a warning is issued to the Bison dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike is a count, as the warning was most likely issued to Coach Gering, as he was the one that was talking to the home plate umpire. That pitch will come across for ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count to Callahan. This bottom of the second inning brought to you by Premier Bone and Joint Centers and Heartland Embroideries. That one will be fouled back for strike number 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs, as this is the leadoff hitter for the Pioneers. That one's going to be lined straight up in the middle for a base knock. Callahan will reach onto first. And that will go ahead and bring up Bryce Allman, left fielder, wearing number 14. He'll step in with no outs and a runner on first. Here's the first pitch, and that one will miss for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Allman, a redshirt freshman from Oral Roberts. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That'll be fouled off. Back and towards the left for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner on first for the Pioneers from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Playing left field today. Does a little bit of pitching as well. The 1-1 will miss out and down for ball 2, as he swung a bit less than halfway because they let the ball come across for ball 2. 2-1 is the count as Feria comes set and deals it home. That'll be grounded straight into left field. Callahan will reach second off back-to-back singles, and Allman will be at first. So 2 hits right off the bat here in the bottom of the second inning. We still are tied nothing. As Jake Curtis will step in, playing behind the plate for the Pioneers this evening. Steps in with no outs and runners on first and second. Bunt shown, and it's going to be pulled back right at the last second as that ball will travel outside for ball number 1. Curtis, a freshman at Kansas last year. 1 ball, no strikes. Sferia comes set and fires it home. Bunt once again shown, but once again the ball will miss in virtually the same spot for ball number 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners on first and second for the Pioneers. Here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the 2-0 as bunt once again going to be shown. And that will be in there for strike 1 as Winter was slowly creeping up on the first base line. As he will step in once again, this time for the 2-1 pitch. Here it is, bunt shown once again, pulled back as the ball will travel outside for ball 3. Curtis, also from Rockwall, Texas. Batting .333 on the year, 13 for 39 with 4 runs. Faria settles in on the mound, comes set, fires in as the runner from second will go, and that will be ball number 4. That will go ahead and walk the bases loaded anyway. So Callahan will stand in at third, Allman at second, and Curtis at first off of 2 singles and a walk. And the assistant coach, John Grigg, walking out to the mound now to speak with Faria and the whole entire infield for the Bison. I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you tuning in here. We have Hallworth White, Kim Pezzanella, Prosperity, as always, watching from Phoenix. As the meeting still going on the mound, no outs with bases loaded for Faria and the Bison as the home plate umpire slowly walks out to the mound. Still coming up, we have Hom coming up right after everything is dispersed, and it has. As Hom will stand outside the batter's box and take a practice swing before he looks at the barrel and steps in. Fresh count for him with no outs and the bases loaded for the Pioneers. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on straight to him, and it'll get into the middle. At least 1 run will come across the score. 2 will, and that will put the Pioneers up 2-0 over the Gem City Bison here in the bottom of the second inning. So Hom with a 2 RBI single will stand in at first with Curtis at second. And Nanez will stand in the box. Nanez with a bunt shown, pulled back, and it's going to be ball 1 on the outside as the Bison trail it 2-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 is the count. Feria comes set, looks at second, back to home, and then back to second. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be bunted. Picked up by Feria, fired over to first. Panton will grab that for the first out of the inning. The 1-4 putout will bring us back to the top of the order. Jackson Wall will stand in, the first baseman for the Pioneers. A freshman at Grand Canyon University last year. As the runners will advance from first and second to second and third. Here's the first pitch, going to be swung on and missed for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike with runners on second and third with only 1 out for Wall. Wall also from San Jose, California. That pitch going to be popped up into foul territory, out of play, into the stands for strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and runners on second and third. Feria comes set, kicks and fires home. That's going to be lined straight up the middle. Curtis will come in, and the play at the plate will not be in time. The play at second will also not be in time. And 2 more runs will come across to score for the Pioneers. Curtis and Hom come across, both touching home plate. As Wall will make it to second off of the single. So now Isaac Lopez, the designated hitter wearing number 6, will step in for Western Nebraska. Here's the first pitch, and that will miss outside for ball number 1. Last night, Lopez was 1 for 2 as the Pioneers took on the Sodbusters. 1-0 count, and that one will be swung on and missed for strike number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count with a runner on second. The Pioneers lead it 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. All 4 runs coming in order. 2 singles, as that one's going to go into left field for another one. Wall will stick at third, so Jeremiah will have runners on the corners off of the single from Lopez. So 5 singles in this inning to push across 4 runs. A ball thrown in there as well as an out. So runners stand in on the corners as Jeremiah steps in. First pitch going to miss inside, down near the shins for ball number 1. The sophomore from Skyline Junior College, 256 on this season, 21 of 59 with 20 runs, as that's going to be fouled backwards and to the right for strike number 1 to even things up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with runners on first and third for Jeremiah. Steps in, swings his bat around, lines it up, and puts it over his shoulder. Lopez at first takes a little bit of a lead, being held on by Winter, as that one's going to be popped up out of play towards the right side for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Runner's going to go ahead and go, and that'll be fouled off. So the count will remain the same. 1-2 will be the count. In the bottom of the second inning, the Pioneers are winning 4-0. The pitch will be fouled towards the right. So the count will remain the same. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Jeremiah. The shortstop standing in the right-handed batter's box with 1 out and runners on the corners. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be popped up into shallow left field. McCafferty going over to grab it, and a pump fake over to first. So Jeremiah will go down off the pop out to short for the second out, and that will bring up Alex Zerfus with 2 outs and the same 2 runners on first and second. Fresh count for Zerfus, who last time struck out for the 3rd out in the first inning. The first pitch going to be flown out into right field, giving chase is Wood, and Bradley Wood will go ahead and grab that down for out number 3. We head to the 3rd inning on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 4-0 is the score as we will head to the 3rd inning, as I said, here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. Four runs off of 5 hits were pushed across with 2 stranded on in the bottom of the second. We head to the top of the 3rd. The Pioneers with a 4-0 lead over the Bison, as in steps the hometown kid, Jack Jones, as that first pitch will miss for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Jones from Scottsbluff. One of the 2 people on this team, one of the 2 players on this team, as that one will miss inside for ball number 2, who plays for Western Nebraska Community College over in Scottsbluff. 2-0 the count. Jones, also formerly a Western Nebraska Pioneer, as that one will be popped up into shallow right center field and left center field, excuse me, as Allman will come across to bring it down. So he will be set down after the fly out to left and bring up Justice Panton, who has 1 out, and as the Bison have 1 out with nobody on base here in the top of the 3rd inning. 4-0, the Pioneers lead it as Panton steps in. Here's the pitch, and that will miss low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Panton. from North Carolina A&T. The second baseman for the Bison today, playing either second base or shortstop as he's a middle infielder. That one will hit for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to even things up at 1-1. Also add in 1 out in there. And we got a trifecta. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out for Panton and the Bison with nobody on base. Here's the pitch, and that will miss down low. The ball will get away from Curtis. However, nobody on the base, so nothing happened except for the fact the count moved to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 is the count. Here in the top of the third, Panton stepping in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. That's going to be swung on, and the bat will be dropped and flown into the seating for a foul ball. Panton walks over towards that side as he has no bat to swing with. Owner for the Bison, Lee Grebe, formerly working for the Pioneers, went and grabbed it. So he will go ahead and grab something to make the handle more sticky, and he'll step back in to the box. 2 balls, 1 strike with an out. Nobody on base. Here in the top of the third. Two-1 is the count. And that will be swung on and fouled off towards the right for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to make it even once again at 2-2 with 1 out and nobody on base. One thing that I can tell you about the Bison so far, they've broken a lot of bats. And I suppose it's a good thing considering they started the tradition of giving those broken bats, signing them, and giving them to children in the audience, wherever they are. 3-2 is the count, as that one will miss for ball 4. I guess the count is only 2-2 now. So the count will move now to 3-2 for a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on base. Here's the pitch from Sleeman, and that will be called strike 3. He's not happy about that. He'll walk back to the dugout after giving Sleeman his 3rd strikeout of the game. Each one in each of the 3 innings. So that will bring up the leadoff batter, Derek Wood of George Mason University out in Virginia. 2 outs, nobody on base. The first pitch will be swung on, foul towards the left side for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs to Wood. Formerly of Paradise Valley Community College, and that one will be swung on and missed for strike 2. Wood in a little bit of a slump lately, but is slowly climbing out of it. As he steps back in. 3 strikeouts for him yesterday against the Plainsmen. Here's the 0-2, and that will miss up and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on base. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on base for the Bison. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 strikeouts, 2 back-to-back strikeouts in the inning will put us at 3 outs and send us to the bottom of the third here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. The Pioneers lead it 4-0. We'll be back right after this. Ryan Callahan will step in, the center fielder for the Pioneers. It's the first pitch, bunt going to be shown, and that'll hit the outside edge for strike number 1. Callahan in his second at-bat actually led off last inning with a single and eventually came around to score one of the 4 runs pushed across off of 5 hits in that inning. That second pitch will miss for ball number 1 to even things up at 1-1. Callahan from Overland Park, Kansas. As the count will move from 1-1 to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul back towards the left. The count will remain the same for the redshirt freshman at Kansas. 1-2 still the count as he steps back in the right-handed side. And that pitch will be swung on and missed for strike number 3. That'll be the first down of the inning, as that will be Faria's second of the game, and bring up Price Allman, the left fielder, with 1 out and nobody on base here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on, lined straight to Panton at second, and given to Winter on the first for out number 2. 2 quick outs for the Bison, and that will bring up Jake Curtis, the catcher, with, as I said before, 2 outs and no 2 outs and no runners on base. First pitch will hit in there for strike number 1 from Faria. Here's the 0-1. Kicked and fired by Faria. That's going to be popped up straight to Winter. He'll drop it, but it'll fall in fair territory, and he'll get the unassisted put out for out number 3. We head to the top of the 4th here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. As it's a quick 1-0 count now to Tyler Bradley, make that 2-0 count. As the Pioneers lead it 4-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. That third pitch will come across for ball number 3. Moving the count to a hitter's favored count, 3 balls and no strikes. Sleeman still on the mound for the Pioneers. He kicks and deals right in there for strike number 1. 3 balls, 1 strike as the Pioneers pushed across. Four runs in the bottom of the second, as that one will be fouled back for strike 2 to make the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 is the count. Full count for Bradley. Standing in the left-handed batter's box. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. Out number 1 will come across. Another strikeout for Sleeman. And that will bring up Nico Pezzanella, the catcher for the Bison today. He bounces around from designated hitter to first baseman and then catcher. As Bannister gets his day off after catching most of all 3 games versus the Plainsmen. First pitch will be swung on and missed for strike number 1. Pezzanella from Northern State. Last night was 0 for 1 with 1 walk. Here's the pitch. That'll be fouled back off towards the left for strike number 2. This broadcast brought to you by Arrowhead Candy LLC, Michael Luby, Kevin Evans, Motive Coffee Company. As the 0-2 count to Pezzanella comes up, and that will be flown out into left field. An excellent catch coming from Jeremiah, backtracking it for out number 2. Randy Stoltz will step back in. The right-handed batter's box. With 2 outs and nobody on base for the Bison. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on and missed for strike number 1. The last time Stoltz was up, got the 3rd out of the first inning. He steps back in the right-handed batter's box. 0-1 is the count. As that pitch will miss outside to even things up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and nobody on base for the Bison. Last night, Stoltz went 0 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on and fouled backwards for strike number 2. 1-2 is the count with no runners on for the Bison. Steps back into the batter's box. That pitch will miss outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Stoltz steps back in. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs, nobody on base. Bison trailing 4-0 here in the top of the 4th. That pitch will miss just barely up high and outside for ball 4. Ball 3, excuse me. They had a 4 up there. Ball 3.
All right, there's that Western Nebraska
3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count to Stoltz. Here's the pitch, and that will miss down low for ball 4, sending Stoltz walking over to first base. That will bring up Mitch Winter, the first baseman for the Bison, with 2 outs and a runner now on first. In the top of the 4th, only 1 base runner before Stoltz was Wood, the leadoff batter, in the top of the 1st inning. He had a stolen base, made it to second, where he thus got stranded by 3 straight outs. That first pitch of this at-bat going to go down for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs with Stoltz at first. The pitch will hit the outside edge for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to make things even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1, and that will be swung on for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Winter. Last time Winter was up, he flew out to right field. And here he is in the top of the 4th, as the runner will be caught at second off a pickoff move, and that will end the inning. Winter will come up to bat once again as we head to the bottom of the 4th here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 4-0, still the score. We'll be back right after this. Stevie Holmes steps up to bat for the Pioneers. They lead it 4-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Faria still on the mound for the Bison. That first pitch going to be swung on right into center field. Wood tracking it and bringing it down for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. This 4th inning brought to you by Chili's, Blue Mountain Bookstore, Quality IV Care, and H&R Block. So 1 pitch and already 1 out for the Bison and Faria, as Nanez steps in, and that pitch will be swung on as well, but fouled off towards the right for strike 1. Second at bat for Nanez, sophomore from San Francisco State. Here's the 0-1, and that will be right in there for strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, as he stands in the right-handed batter's box with the bat over his shoulder. Here's the 0-2, and that's in there for strike 3. So another quick 2 outs for the Bison. Various third of the night. And that will bring us back to the top of the order, Jackson Wall. Here's the pitch. And that will miss for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs with no runners on base. For the Pioneers, that's going to be flown out to right field. A nice diving catch from Bradley to make it a second straight 1-2-3 inning. The defense from the Bison is outstanding. We head to the 5th inning on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. The Pioneers still lead at 4-0. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network in the top of the 5th inning. It's top of the 5th inning brought to you by Smith Beverages and Les Schwab Tires. Mitch Winter stepping in the batter's box once again. That's the last time he was up in the previous inning. Randy Stoltz, got caught stealing for the 3rd out. So that first pitch will miss for ball number 1 to Winter. And the second pitch will also miss for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Winter with nobody out and nobody on, obviously, as this is the leadoff batter. That pitch will be swung on and missed for strike number 1. Montana State Billings is where Winter's from, originally from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Standing in, bat over his left shoulder, lefty versus lefty once again. Huge lefty dominance in this game as that pitch will miss outside for ball number 3. Last night he was 1 for 3 with 1 run, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. Also had 2 strikeouts. Winter also does some pitching. Went 1.2 innings with 4 walks on June 11th versus North Platte. Again, if you want to catch a rerun of any of these games, they are always available on archive on our YouTube channel. Just search up Gem City Bison on YouTube. That one will be swung on and fouled off towards the left for strike number 3. 3-2 is the count. Full count pitch, going to be swung on. That's going to be popped up into short center field. And that will be in for a base hit as it dropped before Callahan could get to it. So Winter will stand on first for the first time today after flying out his first time up. And now stands in Quinn McCafferty. Native of Bighorn, Wyoming, goes to Western Nebraska Community College. First pitch going to be in there for strike one. He stands in with one runner and no outs. Almost got those backwards a bit. Sleeman comes set on the mound, kicks and fires in. Foul back towards the right side for strike two. A quick 0-2 count to McCafferty. With Winter on first. Trailing 4-0 in the top of the fifth inning. Here's the pitch. And that will miss down low for ball number one. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. The runner on first. McCafferty went 1 for 4 last night with a strikeout. As the 1-2 will miss to even things up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now no outs with the runner on first. Sleeman looks at Winter on first, kicks and fires once again. That'll miss outside for ball number 3. 3-2. Full count as McCafferty steps in. Here's the pitch, swung on and flown out to right field foul territory. Zerfus can't get to it in time, so the count will remain the same. Winter will have to go back to first and will basically replay the down. 3-2 is still the count to McCafferty, who's been practically a mainstay for this Bison lineup. Hardly taking a day off. I can't even remember the last time he took a day off from shortstop. 3-2 is the count. Sleeman looks back between home and first. That pitch also going to be fouled back towards the right, so count will stay full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, a runner at first, and no outs for the Bison. Steps back into the right-handed box. Lines up his barrel. Swings it around and puts it over his shoulder. Here's the 3-2 for the 3rd time, and that will be in on the top outside corner for strike number 3. He thought he was headed to first. So did Winter. But instead, that will be out number 1. So now coming up, Tyler Godfrey playing the designated hitter for today for the Bison. 1 out with the runner on first, as that pitch will miss for ball 1. Godfrey in the second at bat today, or plate appearance, I should say. Also from Montana State Billings, as is his runner that stands on first. Here's the pitch. Swing held, and that'll miss inside for ball number 2. 2 balls, no strikes to the Rowley, Massachusetts native. The left-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on and popped up towards the left. So the count will move to 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first. The Pioneers still lead at 4-0 over the Bison here in the top of the 5th inning. Godfrey steps in once again with the 2-1 count. Sleeman deals it home And that'll miss up high for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike now to Godfrey, who last night went 0 for 4 with an RBI and 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch, and that will be swung on and missed for strike 2. So once again, we will head to a full count, as did McCafferty before. Here's the full count. That's going to be swung on. Popped up into left field foul territory. That's going to drop. And Hom will make an excellent catch running into the fence over there. So that will be out number 2. So 2 outs back to back after a leadoff single from Winter will bring up Jack Jones from Western Nebraska Community College. First pitch will miss outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, as Winter still stands on first here in the top of the 5th. Second pitch in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to make things even at 1-1. One and one with Panton standing on deck. There's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on this time for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jones, who last night was 0 for 3 against the Plainsmen. Pickoff attempt over to first, not successful, as Winter will get back. 1-2 is the count, with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Sleeman comes set, kicks and fires it in. That'll miss barely outside for ball 2. 2-2 is the count, with 2s all across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Jones and the Bison. Sleeman takes a deep breath, set at the waist. Here's the pitch, and that'll be swung on for strike number 3. That will end the top of the 5th inning. We head to the bottom here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 4-0, the Pioneers still lead it over the Bison. We'll be back right here next. Isaac Lopez steps in for the Pioneers. They lead it 4-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch will miss for ball number 1. This bottom of the 5th inning brought to you by Blodorn Lumber Company and Ivinson Memorial Hospital, as that pitch will be swung on and missed for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lopez, who is on his 3rd at-bat already today. First time he flew out to left field. The second time he got a single, but then got stranded later on in the inning. That ball will miss for 2 balls and 1 strike. From Texas Rio Grande Valley, he'll chop that up the middle for another base hit, his 2nd of the day, and that'll put him on first base. And to bring up Jace Jeremiah, the shortstop, number 10, in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sophomore from Skyline Junior College steps in. Here's the first pitch with a runner on first. No outs, as that ball will miss down low in the dirt for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, no outs with the runner on first. Gets comfortable in the right-handed batter's box. So far tonight is grounded out to second for the 2nd out, as the pitch comes across for strike 1 to make it 1-1. And he's also flown out to center. No, excuse me, popped out to short. There is a difference there. Not sure if I could tell that on a normal day, although both of them were for the 2nd out of the inning. Is that pitch going to miss outside? The throw down to first not successful, and Lopez will remain at first base. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Stepping in, the righty versus righty matchup. From pitcher to batter, Feria deals it in, and that'll be swung on and fouled for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As he lines it up once again. 256, 21 for 59 with 20 runs. As Feria stepped off of the mound and had Lopez go back to first. 2-2, as that will be foul tipped, so the count will remain the same. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Steps back into the box to face the 2-2 from Feria. You can see over on the left side of your screen the beautiful sunset here in Gering, as that one's going to be flown out into right field. Bradley will bring it down for out number 1. However, Lopez will stay at second. So that will bring up Zerfus. Stepping into the box now. Junior from Gonzaga. Fresh count for him, 1 out and a runner on first. Not anymore, as that runner will go ahead and run. That's going to be swung on into right center field. That'll hit the gap. Wood will get it in, and 1 more run will come around to score. Lopez from first to make the score 5-0 over the Bison. Zerfus with a double, and that will bring up Ryan Callahan, the center fielder, as Zerfus stands in at second. Clean count. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on into left center field. That'll hit the gap once again. Zerfus will come around third to score. And Callahan in at second with a double. Back-to-back doubles will make the score 6-0 over the Bison, as Coach Gansrow will come out to have a chat with Feria as well as some of the infielders. If I were smart, and I'm not really, I would guess that he might be taking Feria out here in the bottom of the fifth, and indeed that's what it is. So we will head to break here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. New pitcher coming on. We'll tell you more about him when we come back and give you the line for Feria. Once again, you're listening and watching on the Gem City Bison Digital Network, heard all around the world. Caleb Lafooner steps in the pitcher's mound. Steps on the pitcher's mound for the Gem City Bison, coming in relief for Marcos Feria, excuse me. Man, I'm messing up all of these words. Feria gave across 6 earned runs, as that one's going to hit him right in the back, as Allman will come into first base. So Lafooner, first at bat, or the first plate appearance he throws, he hits Allman in the back, so he will head over to first base, and that will bring up Jake Curtis. 6-0 is the score. The Pioneers up over the Bison. Here's the pitch, and that will be in there for strike. Lafooner comes set at the chest and deals it in there. That's going to be swung on into right field. Bradley gets under it and throws it. Excellent awareness to keep anybody from advancing. So that will bring up Stevie Halm. So you might be able to see the wind whipping practically the whole entire batter's box away. You can't even see it anymore. As the wind picks up here in Gering. First pitch of this at bat will miss for ball number 1. Runners on first and second. With an out. 1-1 is the count, and that will be swung on for strike number 1. Hom steps into the box. Fooner comes set, sends that in there for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. As Hom steps back into the box. That pitch will miss for ball 3. Hom from Olón Junior College, a freshman there from San Jose, California. Stepping in, and he's getting a real taste of the Midwestern wind. Lafooner steps off. Two-two's the count, as that one is going to be fouled off. Two-one is the count. 2-2 actually, let me correct myself. Here's the pitch from Lafooner. That's going to be chopped foul on the left side. The count will remain at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count, with runners at first and second for the Pioneers. They lead it 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th. 161 on the season so far, 3 for 18 with 5 runs. Here's a 2-2 as Lafooner steps off. Nobody to throw to at second, so he'll just turn around and focus in at home. Here's the 2-2, and that will miss and hit him. So another hit by pitch will load the bases here in the bottom of the 5th. That will bring up Antonio Nanez. As Nanez steps in, here's the first pitch, going to be swung on and fouled off towards the right side, out of play for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in this inning. That pitch will be in there for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Nanez 0 for 1 last night, 333 on the season. As that pitch will miss for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that one will hit him. Lafooner stretches down as he hits a run in. So that will go ahead and move the score to 7-0. Western Nebraska over Gem City off of 3 hit by pitches. Still 2 outs and still bases loaded, except the score has changed, 7-0. As that pitch will miss for ball 1. Jackson Wall now up to bat. The 1-0 count will miss inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Lafooner comes set, fires it in there. That's going to be hit, picked up by McCafferty, and over to Panton on to second for the 3rd out of the inning. That will bring us to the 6th inning here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. The Pioneers lead it 7-0 over the Bison. We'll be back right after this. We head to the top of the 6th, starting off with number 6, Mr. Justice Panton stepping in for the Bison. They trail it 7-0 against the Pioneers. Here's the pitch that'll miss down low for ball number 1. Panton, so far today, only 1 at bat, and he struck out looking in the 3rd inning for the 2nd out of that 3rd inning. That pitch will miss once again to make the count 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 is the count to the second baseman from North Carolina A&T. There's the pitch, and that'll hit in for strike number 1. Last night he was 1 for 4 with 1 RBI and 2 strikeouts against the Plainsmen over in North Platte. Thank goodness we're heading back to Laradice after tonight. I'm kind of tired of peeing on the road. That pitch will be in there for strike 2 to even things up at 2-2. Make sure to join us at legendary Cowboy Field all week, as we have 3 games against Casper and 3 games against Fremont, all of them in Laramie, and all but 1 starting at 6:05. That pitch will miss outside for ball 3. The one that won't will be on Sunday against the Fremont Moo. That one will start at 4 p.m. So make sure to come join us out at Cowboy Field. Probably the best entertainment you'll get around that Laramie and Cheyenne area. As that one will hit inside for strike number 3. And Panton will once again have another strikeout looking, this time for the 1st out of the inning, and that'll bring us back to the top for Derek Wood from George Mason, originally from Reedley, California. The pitch gonna miss for ball number 1. So far today, Wood is singled, and then he stole second, got stranded there in the 3rd inning. He struck out for the 3rd out, and here we are in the 6th when he gets his 3rd at bat. There's the pitch, and that'll miss down low for ball 2. Against North Platte yesterday on Sunday, 0 for 4, 1 run and 1 walk with 3 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. That'll be right in there for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on base for the Bison. Here in the top of the 6th inning, they lead at 7-0. No, excuse me, the Pioneers lead at 7-0. That's going to be fouled off towards the left for strike number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to even it up, with Woods standing in the left-handed batter's box facing the lefty on the mound, Ryan Sleeman. There's the pitch. That's going to be swung on right into right field. A long, high drive ball, and that's going to hit at the warning track. He'll go into second. He's rounding second and going to third. He'll get in there no problem at all. Showing off his speed, George Mason has a stud over in center field as he will get a triple off of the right field slam. So he stands in at third now. As Tyler Bradley will step into the left-handed batter's box now. As I said earlier in the broadcast, these Bison are definitely left-handed dominant in the lineup, and then in the pitching they have more right-handers than left-handers, as that one's going to come in for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out to Bradley, who so far today struck out in the first for the first out and struck out in the 4th for the first out. So 2 almost exact same outcomes of at-bats, as that one's going to be fouled towards the left for strike 2 in both the 1st and the 4th. He steps in. Sleeman still on the mound. Lefty versus lefty matchup once again, except Wood at third this time. There's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. Third strikeout for, third strikeout for Bradley, and the 9th strikeout for Sleeman. So interestingly enough, that means Bradley has been 1/3 of those strikeouts. So with 2 outs and a runner on third, Pezzanella steps up to bat. First pitch going to be in there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs with a runner on third in Derek after his monster triple into right field. Here's the pitch, and that will be swung on, foul tipped backwards for strike 2. Pezzanella, as I said before, from Northern State, native of Sparks, Nevada. Same state that my mom was born in, actually. As he was 0 for 1 with 1 walk yesterday, as that pitch will miss outside for ball 1. We apologize for the camera difficulties today. Do not know what's going on. We'll hopefully get that fixed as soon as we can. If it's not today, it will be fixed tomorrow. Once again, we do apologize. 1-2 is the count. And that one's going to be swung on into right field, shallow right field, going into foul territory. 3 people chasing it. And it looks like Nanez laid out for it and got it. That was a crazy athletic move by Nanez to get that out. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. The Pioneers lead at 7-0 over the Bison. Once again, we will be right back. We head to the top of the 6th inning, 7-0 lead Western Nebraska over the Gem City Bison. We're going to go Lopez, Jeremiah, Zerfus as the first pitch missed for ball 1, and the second one will as well. This 6th inning brought to you by Marky's Meat Market, Montez the Mudman, Liggett Transport and Crane, and Gardner's Pest Control. That pitch will miss down low for ball 3. One runner getting stranded in the top of the 6th inning, as Derek Wood hit a monster triple into right field but could not get put in. So 3 balls, 1 strike will be the count, as Lopez thought he was going to be able to go walking over to first. 3-1 is the pitch, and that will be fouled backwards for strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes for a full count, no outs in this bottom of the 6th inning. Leadoff man for the Pioneers. That also means that there are no base runners. Here's the 3-2 from Lafooner, and that will miss down low. Now he may go walking to first, and that will bring up Jace Jeremiah. So the walk from Lopez, and Jeremiah steps into bat. So far today, he is 0 for 3 as he steps in looking to make that 1 for 4. That's going to be flown out into right field foul territory. That would have been just foul, as Bradley will come over and snag it out of the air for an out. First out of the inning for the Pioneers, as that will bring up Ryan Callahan, the center fielder, with Lopez still on. No, excuse me. That is going to be Zerfus. So Zerfus, so far today, has struck out, flown out into center field, and a double, and eventually came around to score. One out, and a runner on first. Here's the pitch, and that'll miss down low. Pesanello will have to go and grab it, but Lopez will advance to second. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out with a runner on second now for Zerfus, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch from Lafooner, and that'll be right in there for strike 1. Zerfus from Lake Forest, California, batting .333 on the year, 17 with 51 at-bats, as that's going to be flown into right field. Bradley chasing it, and that is going to be foul. It's going to be called foul as Antonio Garcia comes out to argue it with the home plate umpire. Over near first base, that ball was flown high and long into right field. It did reach out of the park, but the question is whether or not was it in fair or foul territory. The umpire is saying foul. The head coach of the Pioneers is saying fair, as they slowly walk back towards the middle of the infield. So the call will stand. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count now to Zerfus. As he is going to step back into the box. As Lafooner steps on, gets ready to deal the 2-2. 7-0, the Pioneers lead the Bison here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch swung on, and this time fouled back, and the count will remain the same. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also adding on to that stat line, 17 for 51. He has 15 runs for the Pioneers this year so far. Here's the 2-2. That will be swung on and flown out to right field. Bradley will bring it down. A long throw will be into the infield, but Lopez will tag up and send himself to third. So 2 flyouts to right field for the first 2 outs of the inning. That will bring up Ryan Callahan now.
Next by the batter, center fielder from the University of Kansas, number 16, Ryan Callahan.
As he steps into the left-handed batter's box, runner on third now for the Pioneers. Here's the pitch from Lafooner. That'll miss out for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out for Callahan. So far today has singled, eventually came around to score, struck out for the first out in the 3rd, and then doubled and eventually came around to score in the 5th. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be chopped foul. Excellent catch from John Grigg over in the Bison dugout. He throws it back to Pezzanella, who then gives it to the home plate umpire. 7-0, still the score in the bottom of the 6th. Pioneers up over the Bison. 1-1 pitch, going to be swung on and flown into left field. McCafferty falling down, but making the catch for out number 3. We head to the 7th inning on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 7-0. The Pioneers still lead it. We'll be back right after this. First pitch for a new pitcher for the Pioneers comes across as strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. I do believe, if I can see things right, that's going to be number 19, Cam Cummings. coming on in, a redshirt freshman from Kansas, from Fresno, California. That is going to be swung on, and the line drive from Stoltz straight into the glove of Jeremiah over at short, excuse me. So that will be out number 1, as that will bring up Mitch Winter, the first baseman for the Bison. Here in the top of the 7th inning, it's brought to you by Cook and Associates PC and Kia of Cheyenne, as that one's going to be a high fly ball into right field. Going back is Zerfus, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. Quick 2 outs. 2 balls caught in the air, 1 from short by Stoltz and 1 in right by Winter. So that will bring up Quinn McCafferty, used to this area, playing in this area. He is from Western Nebraska Community College. That first pitch going to be in there for strike 1. 2 outs, nobody on base here in the top of the 7th, trailing the Pioneers 0-7. McCafferty stepping in the right-handed batter's box. That's going to miss down low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to McCafferty. As you might still be able to see the wind whipping and blowing all over the place, as it seems to have died down a little bit from how it was, as that second ball is going to be swung on for strike 2. But still, it is there. You can tell it's there, as you see another gust come across and blow more dirt off of the home plate area. So McCafferty standing in the right-handed batter's box. Cummings on the mound. That's going to be grounded straight to Hom and over to Wall at first for a quick 1-2-3 inning. In the top of the 7th, we head to the bottom on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 7-0. The Pioneers still lead it. We'll see if the Bison can come back in the bottom of the 7th right here. The 7th inning stretch brought to you by Bonds Brewing Company. Bonds Brewery, the official brewery of the Gem City Bison. Make sure to go over to Bonds after every single Gem City Bison game for one of the best handcrafted brews in either Albany or Laramie County. That first pitch from Lafunor gonna miss for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, as that pitch will be in there for strike 1. 1-1 is the count, no outs. In this bottom of the 7th, brought to you by Advanced Comfort Solutions, Hilton Hotel Investment Services. That one's going to be hit over to Panton and then brought over to Winter at first for out number 1, as Alman will be retired. So out number 1 comes across and is retired. Curtis will now step up for the Pioneers. The catcher stepping in from the University of Kansas. 3:33 on the year as he steps in. That's going to be fouled over on the right side, foul territory. Bradley giving chase and bringing it down for a quick out number 2. Quick 2 outs from the Bison. Not a stranger to that in this game, and neither is the Pioneers on the flip side. But a quick 2 outs will bring up Stevie Hom, excuse me. So he stands in with 2 outs, nobody on base for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The first pitch gonna miss out inside, excuse me, for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Hom. Olone Junior College. Freshman there, batting 167, and that pitch will miss for ball number 2. Lafooner's still on the mound for the Bison. This bottom of the 7th inning. You can't see, but just outside of your screen, the first base coach for the Pioneers and the head coach for the Bison are having a conversation as that pitch will come across for strike number 1. So far today, Hom singled and then came around to score in the 2nd, flew out to center field for the first out in the 4th, and then got hit by a pitch and came around to 2nd before he was stranded in the 5th inning. That one's going to be a chopper to third base. Excellent play and spin from Stoltz. Just couldn't get the throw there in time for the out as the ball would go behind them, behind Winter at first. So Hom will stand in at first off of the single. I'm going to go ahead and score it a single for now. We'll put a question mark by it. And that will bring up Antonio Nanez, the second baseman, with 2 outs and a runner on first now. They lead at 7-0 in the bottom of the 7th. That first one going to miss down low for ball number 1. Nanez, sophomore at San Francisco State, batting .333 this year, 11 for 33. And a pickoff attempt over to first, not going to be successful for Lafooner and Winter. So the runner stands in at first. That's going to reach in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to even things up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on first for the Pioneers. They lead it 7-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Nanez fires that one into center field for a base hit. Hom will only advance up 90 feet. 2 back-to-back hits will bring us back to the top of the order with Jackson Wall. So Wall will step in now after 2 back-to-back singles after 2 quick outs in this inning, and that's going to be lined into left field. Jones can't quite get to it in time, and Hom will come across to score once again, making the score 8-0, and Hom having 2 of those runs himself. So Nanez will move up to second, Wall to first off that single. 3 singles in a row, triplets. We'll put another run across the board, and runners will still stand at second and first. That is going to be swung on, fouled towards the right for strike 1. Lopez now stands in for the Pioneers. Sophomore at Texas Rio Grande Valley, in his home state of Texas, hailing from Edinburgh. Lafooner comes set, deals the pitch. That's going to hit him, as that will cause the bases to be loaded. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Lafooner on the mound, Jeremiah at the plate. The Pioneers already lead at 8-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Once again, bases loaded. Here's the pitch, and that will miss inside for ball number 1. Jace Jeremiah, sophomore at Skyline Junior College from San Mateo, California. He's stepping into the right-handed batter's box to face the 1-0 pitch, and that one's going to reach in there for 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases loaded, and the pitch will come across inside for ball number 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That will miss for ball 3. Jeremiah 0 for 4 so far. Hoping to make his average for the day a little bit better here, as that one's going to be chopped foul towards the left for strike 2 to make the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases are loaded in the bottom of the 7th. Now, if this was a 7-inning game, this would be a huge opportunity also if the score were a bit closer. It's 8-0, so definitely not as high of stakes, I should say, as that one's going to be chopped foul. The count will remain the same for Jeremiah. Jeremiah has lined out once, popped out once, flown out once, and grounded out once. So he has all of those down. Now he just needs to get a hit. 8-0 in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 is the count. As he steps out to take another practice swing and steps back in, the shortstop for the Pioneers. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be flown out into right field. Bradley chasing it. That is going to be gone. Add 4 more runs onto the Pioneers' total, 12-0 over the Gem City Bison. 2 outs, 2 early outs in the bottom of the 7th. And 4 runs get pushed across after 2 singles. Got people on base. As well as, no, it was 3 singles, excuse me, that got people on base. Another, yeah, and then a hit by pitch. And then now the grand slam for Jeremiah, and that will bring up Zerfus, who got out right away. We will head to the top of the 8th here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 12-0 is the score. The Pioneers over the Bison. We'll be back right after this. Tyler Godfrey will step in for the Gem City Bison. They trail 12-0 here in the top of the 8th. First pitch going to be strike one. Looking for Godfrey. So far today, only 2 at-bats for him. He struck out in the second and then popped out to the third baseman over in foul territory for the second out in the 5th. And that pitch will miss for ball 1. There's also a new pitcher for the Pioneers, number 15, Adam Enyart from Bakersfield, California, the freshman from St. Mary's, and that one will come in there for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. And that one's going to be out for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. No outs, nobody on in the top of the 8th for Godfrey. Here's the pitch. That will be swung on and missed for strike 3. So, Godfrey will go down on strikes for the first out of the inning. I do think that this wasn't a pitching change. I think it's the same person that was out there, Cam Cummings. It's just the PA announcer scared us all. So that first pitch going to be fouled off towards the left for strike 1. 0-1 is the count. That's going to be lined to second. Nanez will pick it up and give it over to Wall on first for out number 2. A 4-3 put out will put the second out on the board in the top of the 8th, and that will bring up Justice Panton, the second baseman for the Bison. So he steps in the left-handed batter's box. That pitch will be swung on and fouled off towards the left for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike. 2 outs already here in the top of the 8th. The pitcher comes set, kicks and fires in. And that will miss down for a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Now to Panton, who struck out twice today already in the 3rd and 6th inning. That pitch will miss inside around the belt area for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Nobody on base for the Bison. For Panton, from North Carolina A&T, originally from Phoenix, Arizona, went 1 for 4 last night with an RBI and 2 strikeouts. That pitch will miss inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike is the count, as Panton will step back into the box and put his bat over his shoulder, eventually, if he stops holding out there like that. Here's a 3-1. And that'll reach right in there for strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, another full count, 2 out situation, except this time bases are not loaded, and this time it's 12-0 instead of 8-0. Here's the pitch, and that will be swung on and chopped just foul, so the count will remain the same at 3-2. Panton, as I said before, striking out already twice today. In the 3rd inning for the 2nd out, and in the 6th inning for the 1st out. Here's the pitch, and that will miss for ball 4. Panton will finally make it on to base. Here off the base on balls. greeted at first base by first base coach Riley Frizzell, softball player at Missouri. So now back up at top, Derek Wood to bat. First pitch gonna miss up high near his face for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to Wood, who's 2 for 3 today. Definitely breaking out of his slump a bit, as Antonio Garcia will come out and have a meeting on the mound with his infielders and his pitchers. As Gansrow coming out yelling at the home plate umpire, turns around and walks back towards the dugout. Wood standing at home plate as Coach John Grigg comes over to talk to him a bit as the meeting disperses. So both coaches come out onto the diamond, both Antonio Garcia and Tim Gansrow. As the count still remains at 1-0. 2 outs with Panton on first as the base runner. Everything's back to normal and we're about ready to get set once again. Here's the pitch, and that'll be swung on and missed for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on first. In the top of the 8th, the Pioneers lead it 12-0 over the Bison. Another gust of wind comes up and whiffs a big dust cloud. This 8th inning brought to you by Pepsi Wyoming Beverages. Is that pitch gonna miss inside for ball 2? Also brought to you by Gary Crum, Mr. Jim's Pizza, and Papa Murphy's. Here's the 2-1, and that's going to be fouled back for strike 2 to even things up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Wood and the Bison. Twos all across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the top of the 8th, here's the pitch. That'll be fouled towards the left, so the count will remain the same at 2-2.
All right, fans, let's encourage Gering.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Nebraska
Wood stands in the right-handed batter's box. The pitcher comes set, deals it home, and that'll miss outside for ball 3. That'll make the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Wood. Steps into the box, puts his bat around and puts the bat over the shoulder. Here's the pitch. That'll be grounded down the left field line, but that will be foul. So the count still will remain the same. 3 balls and 2 strikes now instead of 2-2. 2 outs, the runner on first. Wood with the bat in the air. Pitcher on the mound, comes set, deals it in. That'll miss up high for ball 4. Wood will throw the bat over to the dugout and his equipment as he heads to first base. Panton will be at second now, off of the walk. So now comes up Tyler Bradley for the Bison. Last night 0 for 4 with 1 run and 1 strikeout. Today, not a pretty sight. Struck out 3 times so far. First pitch, come across up high for ball one. But to be honest, his play in the field has been exceptional, playing over and right today, going and getting multiple what would be regular foul balls. As that ball will once again miss up high for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs with runners on first and second. The Bison trail at 12-0 in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch, and that'll be fouled off towards the left for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs is the count with 2 runners on base. The pitcher on the mound comes set, looks back at second, fires it home, and that'll be fouled back for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes is now the count to Bradley. The right fielder today making multiple very good plays out in the field. Here's the pitch. That'll miss outside and up high for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, another full count situation with 2 outs. Runners on second and first. Cummings comes set, deals it in, and that will be on the edge. Strike 3 called. That will be the 3rd out of the 8th, the top of the 8th inning. We head to the bottom on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 12-0, still the score. We'll be back right after this. Nothing here in Gering, Nebraska, bottom of the 8th inning. The Pioneers lead it over the Bison as they are on offense once again. Ryan Callahan stepping up to bat for the Pioneers. That first pitch gonna miss for ball number 1. The 1-0 will reach in there for strike 1. Caleb Lafooner is still on the mound for the Bison. So far today, Callahan is 2 for 4. So that one's going to be swung on and be foul for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. No outs, no base runners. This is the leadoff batter of the inning. That's going to be swung on, and McCafferty will drop it. He'll reach on the error from McCafferty. So Callahan will be over on first, and that'll bring up Allman. McCafferty at short. It was hit almost right to him. He just had to move over a little bit and squeeze the glove. He just couldn't get it done. So the Pioneers will have a runner on first as that pitch is going to be swung on and hit over to Stoltz at third. As he'll reach on first base off of another error. Back-to-back errors here in the bottom of the eighth. And that'll put runners on second and third. Lafooner's still on the mound. He comes set, takes a breath, and fires it in there. That'll be swung on and foul tipped for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on and fouled off towards the left for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, runners on second and third. Lafooner steps off, itches his face, adjusts his hat, and steps back on. Comes set on the mound, kicks and deals now. That'll be popped up into shallow right field. Panton trying to find it, but it'll be brought down by Bradley, who's chasing it for the first out of this half inning. A fly out to right field will bring up Stevie Halm, the third baseman for the Pioneers. He steps into the batter's box. From Malone Junior College. Here's the pitch. And that'll be in there on the outside edge for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, and runners on second and third, represented by Allman and Callahan, off of the 2 errors in this inning. Here's the pitch, and that'll be fouled off towards the right side for strike 2. That'll move the count to 0-2 with the aforementioned 1 out and 2 runners. Oh-2 is the count as Halm will step in. There's the pitch, and that'll be swung on, tipped, fouled back. The count will remain the same. Lafooner climbs back up on the mound, as does Halm with the batter's box. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on into left center field. Tracking it is Jones, and he will bring that down for out number 2. So the 2 outs represented by 2 fly balls into each of the far extreme outfielders. First right and then second center. So there's 2 outs, 2 runners still on base as Nanas steps in, the second baseman for the Pioneers. Here's the pitch from Lafooner. That's going to be in there for strike 1. So far today, Nanas has a single and has also scored a run off of that single in the 7th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that'll be swung on and fouled as that pitch would go back to the backstop. 0-2 is the count. 2 outs with runners on first and second. Here's the pitch, and that'll be swung on and missed for strike 3. Lafooner gets a strikeout, and that ends the inning. We head to the Top of the 9th inning here on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. 12-0. The Pioneers lead it. We'll be back right after this. Nico Pezzanella will step in for the Gem City Bison. Here in the top of the 9th, let's see if they can at least push a couple of runs across the score. I know the hill is kind of steep to climb, but the Pioneers lead at 12-0 in the top of the 9th, as that first pitch will come across for ball number 1. Pezzanella so far today is 0 for 3. Had a pop out to second, a fly out to short, and a fly out to right. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss up for ball number 2. Pezzanella from Northern State University in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Same conference as the Minot State Beavers. Just have to throw that in there, roll Beavs. Pezzanella. As that pitch will miss down low for ball 3. Also forgot to mention that there's a new pitcher on the mound. Number 31, Ryan Garvey. He gets to close things out here for the Pioneers in this one game, one off set. That pitch will miss up for ball 4. 4-pitch walk for Garvey. He'll send Pezzanella to first base, and that will bring up Randy Stoltz. So the Bison with a runner on first, no outs for Stoltz. Stepping back in towards the right side. Garvey comes set. Fires the pitch in there. That'll miss for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes. The runner on first for the Bison. Stoltz standing in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. And that will be in there for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. Stoltz so far today is 0 for 3. Here's the 1-1. And that will miss for ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. As he'll step back in. Stoltz, one of the newer additions to the Bison team, went 0 for 3 last night with an RBI and a walk. Two-one count as Garvey steps off and steps back on. As does Stoltz with the box, steps out and then steps back in. Here's the 2-1. And that's going to be swung on and fouled off towards the right for strike number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, a runner on first for the Bison. Here in the top of the 9th, their last chance in this game, which is quite out of hand, if I'm being completely honest. 12-0. The Pioneers lead it. Two-two is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be swung on and missed for strike number 3. That'll put the first out on the board and bring up Mitch Winter, the first baseman for the Bison. 1 out with a runner on first in Pezzanella. Here's the pitch, and that'll miss inside for ball number 1. One ball, no strikes. With Winter with the bat over his shoulder, here's the pitch. And that will miss down low to make the count 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out with a runner on first. Winter from Montana State Billings last night was 1 for 3 with 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Here's a 2-0, and that'll be swung on and popped up into shallow center field. Callahan will come in and grab it for out number 2. So that will bring up McCafferty, who plays not too far away from here at Nebraska, Western Nebraska Community College. He steps in the right-handed batter's box and is ready to face Ryan Garvey. Garvey comes set. Here's the pitch. And that will be in there on the bottom inside corner for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike is the count. (12-0) is the score in the top of the 9th. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that'll reach in there for strike 2 on the outside edge. Pezzanella on first. McCafferty in the box. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that will be swung on and missed for strike 3. The Pioneers get a shutout in this one-off game versus the Bison. 12-0 is the final score. we are going to kind of wrap things up for you and send you on your way so that I can get on my way back to Laramie. So pretty much basically the Pioneers dominated this game. 12-0 is the final score. The Bison have no runs off of 2 hits and 2 errors, and the Pioneers have 12 runs off of 13 hits and only 1 error. So obviously I do believe that the winning pitcher will be Ryan Sleeman and the losing pitcher will be Marcos Feria. That is just what I think, and I'm not too good at baseball knowledge. So once again, final score 12-0. The Pioneers beat the Gem City Bison. Want to thank you all for watching and all of our sponsors for making this possible, what we do. And we just want to say thank you. Make sure to join us in Laramie this week, all week, Tuesday through Sunday, for the Casper and Fremont series. Once again, final score 12-0. I'm going to go ahead and head back home to Laramie. And make sure to join us tomorrow night, whether it be at Cowboy Field or on the Gem City Bison Digital Network. And as always, feel the charge. Thank you, everybody, and good night.